So by now, you've probably heard about the flotilla that got intercepted by Israel. And you're probably starting to see and hear about the global protests. Yeah, Matt, I heard about it, but it's kind of hard to follow. And that's why I'm here to explain to you what's going on. Let's get through some of the basics first. The flotilla wants to get humanitarian aid to Gaza. Most people get and understand that part, but we also have to understand the history. We're not going to go too far back. We just need to go back to like 2007-ish. So I have to be careful with my terminology so this video doesn't get taken down. But a group that we're going to call Hamas took over this little strip called Gaza. Israel and Hamas don't like each other. So Israel put a blockade around Gaza to make sure that Hamas, so that they couldn't get weapons from other groups. So they have this blockade in land, sea, and air. Now where the problem comes in kind of depends on how you feel about the people who live in Gaza. Some people feel like they're all bad, like Hamas. And then there's other people that feel like there's innocent people, women and children who are also mixed into this group. The reason why that's important present day is because this is not the first time a flotilla has tried to get to Gaza. Because Israel justifies the blockade on the grounds of security, it makes it difficult to get essential items like medicine, fuel, and food to the people of Gaza. Anytime aid has been sent before is one of the most controversial points of this entire story. Anytime aid is sent, Israel takes it through an inspection process, there's an approved cargo process, there's certain things that are restricted, and then finally the distribution. And this entire process creates backlogs, delays, and it might take weeks for it to get to people, and by the time it does, at times it could be spoiled. Now, don't forget, the two groups don't like each other. So there are some groups that feel that this is intentional, because not only is Israel fighting this group, but they're also in control of their humanitarian aid. And there's some people that believe that Israel doesn't want resolution here. Some people believe that they want to commit, and this is another one of those words I got to be careful with. Let's pretend for a second I had a friend named Jenna, and let's pretend like she was opening up a new business, selling apple cider. And let's pretend like she was trying to come up with a name for her business. She might call that business Jenna's Cider. And if she wanted to shorten it, she might call it Jenna's Side. If you're not picking up what I'm putting down, someone will explain it to you in the comments. So some people believe that Israel wants to sell Jenna's Side to the people of Gaza. So because of this, some people believe that Israel uses this as an excuse to delay and slow down the humanitarian aid that goes into Gaza. So because of this, civilians started to create flotillas in an attempt to try to get humanitarian aid to the people of Gaza. Like I said before, this present-day flotilla is not the first flotilla that has tried to get to Gaza. Now this next part is important, so pay attention. So any other time a flotilla would try to get into Gaza, they were met with extreme hostility from Israel. As a matter of fact, one of the most hostile flotilla events happened in 2010. When the flotilla tried to break through the blockade, Israelis boarded the flotilla, and the raid led to the death of 9 activists. Now when this happened, it was very controversial for several obvious reasons, but one of the main reasons is because this is all international waters. Keep that in mind. I'm going to circle back to it here in a second. Now let's bring it back to present day. Another flotilla wants to go into Gaza. The difference this time was that this flotilla was huge. This one had representatives from 44 different countries, over 40 boats. They were streaming from some of the boats live. Some of the activists included Nelson Mandela's grandson, Mandela, and Greta Thunberg. And because of this, this brought a lot of attention. The group was posting to social media. They were live streaming. So word, of course, makes it over to Bibi Netanyahu. And Bibi was like, hey, if you guys want to deliver humanitarian aid, I really don't mind. That doesn't bother me at all. We just want you to go through the proper channels and deliver it to Ashkelon. So then we can do our security checks. And that will be the only way you can make it through the blockade. But Greta and the rest of the group was like, hell no. Because remember, the history of all this is that when the aid goes through the quote-unquote proper channels, it just kind of coincidentally just makes it to the people kind of slow. So then Bibi was like, man, screw y'all. This is just a publicity stunt. So then Greta was interviewed by the BBC, and they were like, hey, Bibi's saying that this is just a PR stunt. And Greta was like, why don't you ask the people of Gaza if this is a PR stunt? So then people were like, oh, this is for real. They're really going to try to get through the blockade and take on Israeli forces. Keep in mind, people have died trying to do this before. And this is where things start to get a little tricky. Remember when I said that this is international waters? And remember when I said that the flotilla that was attacked in 2010 was highly controversial? It's because these waters don't belong to Israel. And the people on these flotillas don't belong to Israel either. So you know how if someone at school messes with your child, we might go up to the school and handle it as their parents? It's kind of the same thing with countries. So if Israel were to cause harm to any of the civilians on these boats, technically their country of origin needs to handle that. And don't forget, there are 44 different countries represented on these boats. So Spain and Italy were like, man, this is like in our own backyard. And a lot of our people are on those boats. But at the same time, no country wants to start anything. So Spain and Italy sent ships to monitor the flotilla and render aid if necessary. And as the flotilla got closer, things started to get more and more hostile. Some of the boats were hit with a drone strike with non-lethal weapons. The flotilla was shot with water cannons. And over time, they intercepted all the boats. But again, here's the problem. These are international waters. And some people believe that Israel is in violation of international humanitarian law, and that the blockade collectively punishes Gaza's 2 million civilians. And Israel says that the blockade is not only legal, but that it's also a security measure with an ongoing conflict with Hamas. So this is what the global protests are going to be about over the next few days and weeks. But what do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Be sure to follow, like, and share for more content on current events, news, and true crime. And also, be sure to subscribe to my Substack for updates and other stories.